Roughing the passer calls.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Roughing the Passer. And, well, it's season 2, and it is the conference championship edition, John. We're down to 2 teams, my man. But as always, my name is Drew, or the DH, and I'm joined by Mr. Newman. What's up, dude?
Well, neither the team I wanted to get there are there. So
Yeah.
it's not this, it's not the State Farm Bowl. It's also not the 2 teams I wanted, but
Sure.
that's you can't control that stuff, and it is what it is. And the guy I don't like that much is going to his 10th Super Bowl. So
yeah, definitely. Tom Brady getting to another one, I think. To be honest, is this something that you would have expected at week 1, seeing this team week 1? Like, the improvements that team made were phenomenal to get there. And, one of the biggest plays of the game, Gronk making a huge play, someone that was quiet for a lot of the year, did some stuff, made a huge play in that game. But that's a team, man, that – they grew. You could tell they were way off at the beginning, but they gelled throughout the year, and they take it to a Green Bay team that I'll go on and say it. And I know we're going to talk a lot about this Green Bay game today, and especially the coaching. But this is a Green Bay team that, to me, came in there complacent. They came in there thinking that they were going to beat the shit out of them. And I think it starts with Aaron Rodgers. I think he came in thinking that he was just on top of the world this year, and that Tom Brady was old and that he wasn't, and that his team was going to go in there and show the Bucs, who's boss. And a lot of reasons probably why, but they definitely didn't.
Yeah, I thought Aaron Rodgers played better than actually Tom Brady. All we want to anoint. Tom Brady threw 3 picks today, but I think this was some coaching in there. Matt LaFleur there opting to kick the field goal with just a few seconds over 2 minutes. Like, you were 8 points behind, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and you have a tie ball game. Now, maybe he's thinking, well, if we do score a touchdown and hit the 2-point conversion, we'd leave too much time for Tom Brady to kind of come up. But they never touched the ball again. This is win or go home. And you have the ball and you have Aaron Rodgers. It's not like you got Ryan Fitzpatrick. You got Aaron Rodgers and the ball. I know it's 4th down and goal. I know the 3 previous plays were kind of clunky. But this is it, man. You may never get the ball again, and that's exactly what happened. You got to at least you control your own destiny when you have the ball. You control the outcome yourself. Yeah. When you kick the field goal and you're still 5 points behind, and then you give the Bucs and Tom Brady 2 minutes to run out the clock, you ended your season. I thought.
I know. You did. I thought it was gutless. How in the world are you going to give the ball back to Tom Brady when you saw he was heating up?
I thought it was gutless, and I thought it was a terrible message to his own quarterback. Like, I don't believe you can score here, so we're going to kick the field goal and then give you another chance with a new set of downs. Like, when I saw the field, I was watching that, obviously. When I saw the field goal unit come on,
I know.
What is this dude doing? Like, what are you doing? Even Troy Aikman, he had to watch what he said because he's live on millions of people list. But you could tell even Troy Aikman wanted to say, this is dumb.
Like, I'll say what he was thinking. It was fucking stupid. Like, it was fucking stupid.
Matt LaFleur's a solid coach. Today was not.
Yes.
Today's not portfolio resume stuff.
No, like this is what this was.
We talk about players having, we talk about players having bad days. Yeah. This was the coaching equivalent.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bad day, but at the same time, I look at it as this was someone that got outcoached, straight up outcoached. Like when it comes down to the playoffs, it's a different beast than the regular season, when half the time you might even be game planning just to try a new game plan. I mean, regular season games are like that. When you're in the playoffs, it's a different beast. And this was a guy that got outcoached today. His team, like you said, his team was playing good. Rodgers, I hate to say it, but Rodgers was playing, better than Brady, I think, overall. They had all the chances in the world. They could have dominated this game. This came down to coaching, and this came down to him not being able to handle the moment. And when it got down to the point of the non-scripted part of the game, once you get into the second quarter, you saw them fall apart. That beginning of the game where everything was scripted and it went the way that he wanted it to go, it looked beautiful. But as soon as that was over, you could see when those plays stopped and when the script was bare, and you saw the difference, and he was thoroughly outcoached. And the end result is Aaron Rodgers is going off to bitch and moan about whatever he's going to complain about next. And Mr. Brady's headed to another Super Bowl, as painful as that is for me to say. But guys, please call in and join the show. Call in. Let us know what you thought about this game. Let us know what you thought about the Packers and the Bucs. Are you happy that Brady's in the Super Bowl? What do you think about the Packers today? What was the reason? Who won this game? Did Tampa win? Did Green Bay lose it? Call in, let us know anything or any questions or comments you may have about any other games.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Packers fan and you agree with the LaFleur decision, come on and tell me I'm wrong and Drew's wrong, because that was, to me, that was terrible. If you come on and you want a reason why, I get the whole reason why. You're 5 points down. You're 3 and out. The Buccaneers, you get the ball back. But come on, man, 3 and out. The Buccaneers, you haven't stopped them for most of the game, minus the interception. The only time Tampa Bay didn't punt was when Brady threw one of the 3 interceptions. Did LaFleur think there was a 4th interception in him? I don't know. I don't know what he was doing. I thought it was a
bonehead. He was outcoached. He was getting outcoached. He even
said, by Bruce Arians, who's, with all due respect to Bruce Arians, he is not really regarded as like an elite coach.
God no.
So, Tom Brady probably gets more of the credit than Bruce Arians does for the Bucs' success. So, you got the ball. Give Aaron Rodgers one more crack to get it across the goal line. Then take your chances with the 2-point conversion. Because you're going to need to score. Here's the thing. It wasn't like you kick a field goal there, Drew, and then you needed one more field goal. You still needed a touchdown either way.
Exactly.
So you got the ball. Why give it back to the other team to run out the clock and not even give your elite quarterback a chance to get it done? I thought it really kind of, maybe I'm reading too much into this, Drew.
Sure.
Maybe it's sending a message to Aaron Rodgers. I like to think not, but you don't have any confidence in your own guy.
Right. Well, no, I agree. And real quick, I want to address something in this comment. Scott, I love you, buddy. You're a good friend of mine. But come on now. I can't stand this narrative, John, that goes on in the NFL. Oh, it's fixed. These games are fixed. The NFL, blah, blah, blah. They wanted this guy to ride off into the sunset. They wanted this to happen. Yes, sure, in the offices, they didn't want the Bills versus the Bucs in the Super Bowl or the Bills and the Packers in the Super Bowl because it's a shitty rating. But that in no way, shape, or form does it have any effect on any game. That's just people's feelings.
I will say this. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Somewhat on certain things. Sometimes something Yeah, some things that happen in the NFL are head scratchers. And man, Brady 10 Super Bowls, goes to a new team. I mean, I'm not saying anything funny's going on, but man, it is makes you
I
think. You know
agree,
what I
but
mean?
I watched. Did you watch the game?
Yeah, no.
Where was the funny business?
I'm not saying that.
The
I'm
interceptions
not saying.
where the balls were tipped by people? I mean, come the fuck on!
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I
I'm
mean,
not. I'm
I
not
agree.
saying.
I agree that certain things in certain games feel a little like a little, like the Panthers and Broncos, Peyton riding off in the sunset. I agree. It was kind of throughout those playoffs. It was kind of set up like they wanted that to happen. But I solely believe that you can't get those men and those warriors and all those people on the field to actually work and actually get that to happen. But to say that this game was fixed, or that this game was set up for anything, I mean, Jesus Christ, Tom Brady did everything in the world to give the game to Green Bay.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, Matt LaFleur just can't coach. I mean, he can, but he couldn't today. Tom Brady did everything in the world to help Green Bay win. So I completely disagree with that. And I've seen it from a couple of different people already say this. Exactly. I'm not going to, and Joe, I find it very hard to believe that 52 people on each sideline that worked their entire career to get there are going to sit on their ass and sell out. And then no one's ever going to say anything about it.
Yeah, no, I'm not subscribing to that. But I will say this, the touchdown at just before the end of the first half.
Oh, questionable calls is a different story. There's bullshit calls in every game.
even the pass interference
that
for all intents and purposes ended the game.
Yeah.
For Tampa Bay, it was ticky tacky. I mean, there was a slight grab of a shirt, but are you gonna call that? The throw was a little high too, so I wouldn't have thrown the flag there. I could see it both ways. I thought that was where you keep the flag in the belt line, but they threw it, and that was the end. And Aaron Rodgers
I was surprised at that because pass interference this year, they'd made it a point to not call it as much. They'd made it a point to let people get away with a little bit more. And so I was really disappointed being a D-back also my entire career. That's something I always pay attention to. And that should not have been pass interference by any shape or form. But I always go back to the same rule that I'll say about anything. I say it about it when my Panthers lose by 3 points. If you're going to let it come down to that pass interference call, well, it's your fault. I don't care. It's your fault. You did something in the first, second, and third quarter to fuck it up and make that fourth quarter play so important. So, don't do it next time. But, if you're going to not call pass interference that way all year, I'd like to see some consistency during the biggest games of the year. So we can hope in the Super Bowl, at least, they're gonna swallow that whistle like they did during the year, because I liked the way it was called this year, actually, for once.
Yeah, the other thing too, man, all these late flags. Like if you're going to call the flag, call the flag.
Yes.
Don't wait till 45 seconds after the play's over.
Don't let a dude sit here and do this and fucking
and cry. And then, if you can't call the penalty yourself, then eat the flag. Maybe we need to review PIs again. I don't know, but these guys whine and then get the flag. It's based on the whine. It's like either you're throwing it or it's not a PI. You know what I mean? Make the call or don't make the call. I'm just you see this all the time. A guy, just like you said, goes up in arms, gets animated, and then two flags come flying, So is the flags for good acting or the flags because there was actually penalty on the play?
Absolutely. So hey, Nick Gable, they only call him late if it helps Brady. That might be true. But, if you could capitalize on the interceptions and all the turnovers he gave you, then, it wouldn't matter. But, once again, handle your business. Don't leave it up to turnovers and the refs. But we're going to move on from that a little bit, John, because Ron Crane brings up a perfect point, obviously, in the other game we had Josh Allen and the Bills. I love Josh Allen. Congratulations on an amazing career, Buffalo. You guys did great. But Pat Mahomes going back to the Super Bowl once again. Andy Reid getting a confetti bath because he probably told those dudes, if you douse me with Gatorade, I'm going to kill you. So he got the confetti bath, which I like. He doesn't need to get sick. But as Ron Crane says, it's the Star Wars of the Super Bowl, the master versus the pupil. We got Brady and Mahomes. What do you think about this one? And first of all, before we get into the Super Bowl, what do you think about the Bills Chiefs game today? Because we touched on the first game, but that game right there.
Boy, the Bills secondary, did they not get off the bus in Kansas City?
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, 13 catches for 118 yards. What was it? Tyreek Hill, 178.
Here's a live look in DraftKings. Let's see how we ended up. Because that Kelce ended up, 521st out of 47,000. All because of Travis Kelce. But yeah,
like cover somebody. You know what the Bills reminded me of tonight. And again, listen, I know how the season ended. It wasn't good. The Bills reminded me of the Steelers tonight, the way they played. Yeah. You had no run game. You had kind of a secondary kind of giving up big plays. The only difference was Josh Allen just was a way better quarterback than Ben Roethlisberger. That made it closer than it probably should have been. He was a little off tonight. I had a feeling a not great game was coming from him, and he was due, and you just hope you were wrong. And a little bit today, again, when your quarterback is your running back, that's not always a recipe for success all the time, especially in bigger games. And I thought the Bills defense, which has played well most of the year, at least on the secondary level, did not get it done. And they were Mahomes just had a field day against them. And, Travis Kelce is no secret. There's no way you can't not game plan against them, and apparently they didn't game plan enough. They couldn't stop them, and you don't need to run the ball that much if you're Kansas City, if your receivers are going to be that wide open most of the game. And so I think there was maybe a bad defensive game plan. I don't know, but you want to blame Leslie Frazier of the Bills defensive coordinator. I thought Steve Spagnuolo on the other side did a pretty good job of I don't want to say neutralizing Josh Allen, but he didn't hurt them as much. They had him backpedaling. I mean, how many bad? Yeah. Josh Allen looked a little bit today. We saw glimpses, unfortunately, of bad Josh Allen. The Josh Allen that twists 2 or 3 times going backwards in the pocket and takes a 13-yard sack and takes him out of scoring range. We saw a little bit of that, the non-throwing the ball away and taking the big loss. And, credit to Spagnuolo. Kansas City was blitzing from all sorts of different angles, and Josh Allen was not comfortable. He was off his spot.
Yeah.
And I think that was a huge difference between that and the Bills secondary not getting it done. That was the end for the Bills tonight.
No, it really was. I completely agree with you. I thought the Bills secondary for sure. Once again, that's something I always pay attention to is the secondary. They didn't show up. It was pathetic. Josh Allen, incredible quarterback. I was one of those guys that I tried so hard to hate him. I did not want to like him. I did not want to think he would succeed. A lot of it has to do with the fact that, Buffalo kind of fleeced Carolina back in the day for a lot of people. But, I really didn't want to like him, but I've turned into a huge Josh Allen fan. But they showed today that they've got some holes but if they fill those holes and they fill it the right way, they could be that dominant team in the AFC for a very long time. Obviously, they're going to be competing with the team that beat them as well. But that team right there has got a lot of issues coming up as well. They better hope for the Super Bowl because the next one won't seem much easy. Won't be much easier. But like Jonathan Coker says right here, I think Josh Allen, if anything, I think that he is going to mature from this game. I think this is going to make him. I mean, happens to all players. Lamar Jackson, a couple of years losing games in the playoffs. I mean, you name it, it happens. You can't expect every quarterback to come in and run through it like Mahomes. Only one quarterback's going to do it every single year, and you do have these legends, playing at the same time. So I think Josh Allen's going to be fine. I thought the Bills played great. I mean, the Bills weren't expected to win. They were playing an uphill battle, and I thought they put up a good fight. I thought the game got a little out of control a little too early, and I don't think they were able to fully execute the game the way they wanted to, and I think that right there just did them in.
Yeah, I know I bagged on the Bills a little bit, but let's be honest. Like you just said, Drew, Kansas City's they're the Super Bowl defending champions, and Mahomes is probably the best quarterback in the league. So it's not like they got upset by a lesser team, and probably they just lost to probably the team that's going to go into the Super Bowl as the favorite over a Brady-led team. So Buffalo shouldn't really be ashamed. I mean, they had a great year. I think Josh Allen is the real deal, and I like you said, I think he's going to be in the mix. These are both teams that are going to be in the mix every year. I mean, you look at that AFC East. I think it's Buffalo and Miami now. I think the Jets are a few years away, even with a bunch of draft picks and the number 2 pick. And New England looks like they're going the south quick, and they're even probably further away than the Jets might be at this point. And and watching the earlier game today, my mind kept going to Belichick's got to be watching that and just squirming in his seat. Brady leaves in the first year with a new team, and he's taking them to the Super Bowl. And the line there is going to be, hey, Brady gets the credit for the success in New England. He carried Belichick across the goal line and not the other way around. And that's that's whether it's true or not. That's honestly what it looks like at this point now. And if you gave Belichick some truth serum, I got to believe he was hoping, Tampa Bay went 6-10 and didn't make the playoffs. And he looks like the genius that he probably really is. But now he that a little bit of that blooms off that Belichick rose because they tanked and Brady's going to his 10th Super Bowl. So I that didn't get lost on me today. I kind of was thinking about that, and we'll see. Here's a question for you. I think we both can attest we're not huge Brady fans. Me being a Steeler fan. Would you sell your soul to the devil and say, listen, I want him to win this game against Kansas City if you knew he would retire?
Yes.
You would?
Yes, because had the Chiefs not won last year, the answer would be no. But Mahomes has his. Mahomes is going to get 2 or 3 more easily. He'll probably be up there fighting with Brady's record. I mean, people are going to call Brady the GOAT forever. It's going to, no matter what player comes along and does what, Brady's always going to be considered the best by a certain generation. Actually, no, I take that back because I think he's done in 2 years anyway. So I'd rather see him make it to the Super Bowl and lose 2 straight and then retire, walk off into the sunset with his head held down. So I take that back. No, I wouldn't.
So here's a question.
Fuck Tom Brady.
So let's say the Buccaneers win. Brady gets ring number 7. You think there's any way he comes back and plays 1 more year even after that?
Yeah. I think yes, because I think he's having fun. He likes it down there. He's given free reign of pretty much everything. He's consulted in every single personnel decision. That's where he's wanted to live. His family loves it down there. His kids love it down there. He's starting to invest in businesses down there. It looks like that's where he's going to be when his career is done. And he seems to be having fun again. Like, it seems like Bruce Arians gives him total control over the offense that Bill never did. I mean, you look at him at the line of scrimmage and you compare like pre-snap reads from the Patriot years to these Tampa games. It's a completely different Brady and everything. And I think he enjoys that. I think he likes that freedom. And I think he looks at it and says, shit, this is something I never had. And so I honestly do think he'll play a couple more years. But just simply because I think he's having fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. And so now I'll answer my own question. Because I think he's definitely coming back next year, no matter what happens in the Super Bowl game, I'm definitely going to root for Mahomes because I don't want Brady. Knowing he's going to come back anyway, like you just said, I'll settle for Mahomes getting his second ring and have Brady come back one more. It's sort of like it's not a failure, but when you get to the Super Bowl and you don't win it, it's sort of like you fell short of the goal. And I think anyone that knows Tom Brady, it was Super Bowl or bust this year, even in Tampa Bay. And so they don't get it. That's a little bit of, hey, less feather he can definitely put in his hat. So I guess I'll be a Chiefs fan for a day, which would be weird being a Steeler guy, but I'm not a huge Brady guy. He's very, very good. I'm not taking anything away from him. I've just had my share of enough Brady. I'm done with him. I'm waiting for a Brady-less NFL. But like you said, I think Mahomes is going to be along those lines too. Mahomes is going to be a guy that's going to win 4 or 5 rings before it's all said and done, if not more. Kind of be always in that, championship round. Even on the years he may not get to the Super Bowl, he's going to lose on this weekend and not earlier. And the one thing I like about Mahomes, though, as for as good as he is, he's less brash than Brady. Just kind of goes about there.
Absolutely.
Kind of a guy that gives other people more credit than Brady is accustomed to. Just kind of a more likable guy, and so it's easier to root. It's easier to root for him.
Oh my God, Coker, you win today. You win the comment of the day today. That's fucking classic. That would have been great. Yeah. You win. Excellent.
Well, they could have the dog. They could have the Rogers' dog bring out the coin. Rogers couldn't be there, but maybe his dog could. But
or you could have or you could have whatever waitress he hits on at the bar before the game. But
what do we think? What do we think the spread's gonna? I think Kansas City's gonna be favored. But what do we see the spread being here before it actually comes out?
Okay, I got the spread. I was thinking about this earlier. I'm glad you brought this up because I was actually going to talk about the spread and the over-under. I wanted to get your opinion. And guys, call in. Let us know. Let us know what you think. I'll put the link back up here in the comments. You don't have to be on camera or anything. You can just call in. But honestly, like after looking at everything, I've got the Chiefs are definitely favored in this game. I'd say Vegas is probably going to start this one at 2.5 for the Chiefs. And they're going, and I would say that it probably moves closer to 3.5, possibly 4 by midweek. And then by the time we get to the Super Bowl, it probably hits around 3. But I think it starts at about 2.5, and I think the over-under probably sits at about 53.5. So
I was gonna say the opening line opens at 4 in Kansas City. Favorite. Here's why. Just a hunch. The game is in a sense a home game now for Tampa Bay. But, this isn't a typical home game. With the pandemic, the seats are not going to be filled. And then the Super Bowl, let's be honest, you're getting all sorts of business people and companies that aren't necessarily a fan of either team. They're just there for the event itself. And so if this was a real true home crowd and the stadium was full, I'd make that line smaller. So I don't give just the fact they're playing at home. Maybe they're a little more comfort factor because they don't have to travel and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it opens up at the Chiefs favored by 4.
Okay, nice. Chiefs favored by 4. I like that. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what it does come out to today. I won an awesome 4-game parlay today. I went against. No, actually, I took every single game that I bet in this week's thing on our picks and put it on a parlay, and actually hit that one. So hopefully, whatever it is, we pick the right answers.
Yeah. Well, and I think the Vegas guys
have a good one, Ron.
I think the Vegas guy's going to say, hey, Brady threw 3 picks. I know they won. Green Bay didn't play great. They had some coaching issues. That ain't going to work against Kansas City. Look what they did to a team that many people think are better than Tampa Bay, the Bills.
Yeah.
And so I think the line's going to come out at 4. It may go to 5. It may go to 3 as the week progresses, depending on the storylines and that sort of thing, and where the money's going to. So we'll see. That's where I would put the line. I would pick Kansas City today, but I don't know what it is, man. Every time I pick against this guy, he wins. And I hate to say it, but it's true. But I mean, let's be real. I think today Mahomes is the better quarterback of these two today. I'm not talking about career awards. I'm talking about if I can have either one of these guys lead my team, I'm going to take Mahomes right now, and that's what Kansas City has, and should be a good game. I think it may be. I think it's either going to be, like you said, high scoring, or it might surprise you, and it'd be like a boxing match where each team just kind of feels themselves out kind of early. No one's really opening up the playbook. Don't want to make a mistake. Sometimes those games happen in the Super Bowl where that first half is just the teams kind of laying the groundwork and don't want to make an early mistake that costs them the game. And you have one of those, 10-7, 7-0 at the half games. And then the second half, they take off the gloves and brawl it out. But, we'll see. So I think it's either going to be low scoring or, like you said, high scoring. I don't think it's going to be in between. So,
yeah, I don't either. I really don't think it's going to be in between. I think it's going to be one of those games where the beginning of the game is probably going to be pretty low scoring, but by the end of this game, I think it turns into a shootout. I think this turns into a pretty high scoring game. I take the over in this game. I think. At least if it sits, which I swear, I don't see how they don't put the over under this game at between 53.5 to maybe 54.5, and I think that the over hits easily there. But it's going to be a fun Super Bowl, man. But if you had to pick, and I know we had to start the show late because of obviously because the game and everything went late and we didn't want to interrupt the game, so we'll keep this brief but we got about 15 minutes or so left on the show, John. So I wanted to ask you, we've got this game between two teams that either one of them could come out on top. You saw it today. I mean, when Tampa gets rolling, don't mistake it. Don't think for a minute that Goodwin, Evans, and those guys aren't legitimate, threats that can put up some massive games. But when you look at the Super Bowl now, and you look at these two teams, who do you think are going to be the X factors of the Super Bowl? Ignore the quarterbacks. Forget the quarterbacks. Like, we know Brady and Mahomes are going to have a big input in this. No fucking shit. But who's going to be the X factor? Who's going to be that guy that's going to have to step up for so-and-so team to actually hoist that heavy-ass fucking trophy?
I hate to say, it's not going to be a player. I think it's going to be which one of these defenses can neutralize or force the quarterback into making a mistake. We saw Green Bay. Brady made 3 mistakes today. Didn't hurt him. Can Kansas City force Brady? They had Josh Allen. This is why I'm going to lean Kansas City. They had Josh Allen running backwards a lot. And let's be honest, Josh Allen's a lot more athletic than a Tom Brady is, And a lot of times what Tom Brady's going to do, as soon as he feels that pressure, what does he do? Kind of just takes a knee, goes down.
Yeah.
And so if they get some pressure in the backfield on Tampa, Brady's going to take those gimme sacks, maybe throw a bad pass, which I think he's capable of doing, even as great as he is. Yeah, and so I'm gonna say the defenses. Which defenses play better? Tampa Bay's defense is no slouch either with Devin White and that crew, and so I think whatever defenses, I think both teams have great receivers. I don't think I think probably Tampa Bay runs the ball a little bit better with the Fournettes and the Ronald Jones, but I don't foresee a lot of run. I don't see a ground and pound game with these two quarterbacks.
No.
So I think you take the run games out. I think both passing games are similar. They both have very good wide receivers, and so I think the X factor is just the whole defensive unit as a whole. Which one makes the most impact plays on that side of the ball? I think that's who wins the ball game.
Yeah, I like that. I agree. I think it is going to come down to defense. It's really going to come down to if I had to pick one, it would definitely be KC's defense. They've got to show up in this game. Otherwise, it could get a little scary. I think Tampa Bay is a little more prepped to handle it if their defense doesn't show up as good as they can. But Tampa's defense has just got awful scary. But the biggest X factor to me by both teams, and this goes for either team, whichever one you want to pick, no matter what, is honestly, it's the man that Jonathan Coker said right there, and that's Mecole Hardman. It looks like Watkins probably won't play in the Super Bowl. If he does, it looks like I just don't trust it. I know he had a big Super Bowl last year, but he's been banged up all year, so I'm not huge on him. Hardman has stepped up and played great, and he seems to be getting a lot more touches, a lot more targets, and it seems like the confidence between him and Mahomes is there. And so I think Mecole Hardman, but I mean, honestly, it's going to come down to one person, and that's Tyreek Hill. Mahomes is going to get him the ball any way he can, but Tyreek Hill has the ability to completely change this game. If he touches the ball and is his little shifty self where he's thinking too much and not doing too much, then, KC might have some issues. But if he's that Tyreek Hill that gets the ball and just runs like a cheetah, then watch out. This game could get ugly quickly. So the biggest one for me, I like Hardman as one of them, but Tyreek Hill has got to be the X factor to me. And for Tampa, I've actually got to go with the running game, and I'm going to go with the guy that most people don't expect, and that's Leonard Fournette. I think they're going to have to keep Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs off the field a lot. And Leonard Fournette has been that guy. He's actually catching damn balls out of the backfield. Like, what the hell? Like, when did Leonard Fournette do this? It's been impressive to see what he can do. And I think he's going to be instrumental in Tampa Bay controlling the clock. And I wouldn't be surprised if you tried to at least see them establish the run and establish him and Ronald Jones early. Now, whether they're able to or not is a completely different story. But I like Leonard Fournette and Tyreek Hill as my biggest X factors for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they may try to control the clock, at least in the first half. I think the second half, like you said, kind of becomes a shootout, a pinball game. I think the first half is a team trying to establish time of possession. I think, you got it. If you play the matchup game and you go tight ends, you got Kelsey versus Brait / Gronkowski. I'm going to give that edge. Obviously, to Kansas City. I know Gronk made a big play today. That literally was the only play he
That he
made.
made. Yeah.
Yeah, you look at his season, he looks like a guy that's done that just came back to play with his buddy for a year. And
Yeah.
he's not the same Gronk that we know from New England. He's still got the same size and he's got pretty good hands, but he doesn't get out of his breaks like a younger Gronk did. He's not as open and as physical as a younger Gronk was, and still can make plays as we saw today. But if we're doing the position by position, I'm going to give that tight end position a big in the favor of Kansas City, and that's when you have receivers on both sides of the ball, it's sometimes that goes to that tight end level, where linebackers have to cover those tight ends, and who's the better one. I think we saw Buffalo couldn't do it today against Kelsey, and if Kelsey has a game like he did today in the Super Bowl, it's gonna be all Kansas City.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I mean, I think there's really no way around it. They've got to, and they're gonna have to step up. But I do agree with you. It really hasn't been an amazing year for Gronk. He's had a couple of big plays, but overall, it's just It was exactly what he did. He was tired of doing Subway commercials, so he jumped on and he played some ball with Brady for a year. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Get another ring. Fuck it. It's nice in Florida. I'm down here right now.
Yeah. So that's what he did, and we'll see. I think it's going to be a good game. I think even if it's a 10 or 14 point game, I think it's gonna be close until probably the fourth quarter, and then someone's gonna win this thing outright, and we'll see. I'm knowing Brady's probably coming back, like I said, next year, one way or the other. I'm gonna root for Mahomes, but let's. One of the topics you brought up, I see here, which is a good one, and it's what happens next in Green Bay.
Yeah,
I think that's a great question you raised with the Aaron Rodgers. I thought we saw. I don't want to maybe read too much into the tea leaves, man. But when you roll your field goal kicker out there and take Aaron Rodgers off the field, like this, I don't know. And Aaron Rodgers is probably your MVP this year. Had over 40 touchdowns, only four interceptions, and I know Jordan Love reports hasn't looked great in practices, but they like him overall. And Rodgers is kind of a gruff sort of guy. Doesn't get a lot of Christmas cards from other people. Probably doesn't send many himself. And so, what do you see? How do you see that going next year? You think it gets contentious? I don't think he's being traded. Not after the year he had.
He's not being traded. There's no way he gets traded. Now, Aaron Rodgers is the type of person. I have a feeling when Aaron Rodgers' career is over, it's not going to be one of these farewell tours for a whole year where I think Aaron Rodgers is going to wake up one day and just say, you know what, I'm sick and fucking tired of everybody I'm working with. I'm done. And that could happen this offseason. He could choose to be done. I think they really upset him with Jordan Love. Obviously, he's stated publicly and privately in every way humanly possible he has zero desire to help that kid whatsoever. And so he has zero desire to help anyone that comes in whatsoever. So if I'm Green Bay and I'm looking at that, what do I have him there for? How does that help the future of my franchise? Someone's going to almost neglect and prohibit guys from developing. Forget that. That's absurd to me. And so, I mean, I don't know. I
see that both ways,
but at the same time, I don't see how you can't just get rid of him. The city like loves him. He's a god over there for some reason. He's a god to everyone who's never met him. But like, and people who like State Farm. But like, you can't cut him. You can't get rid of him. You've got to deal with him. But if I'm a Green Bay fan, I hope and I pray that he wakes up and says, I've had enough. Because that's the only way you're getting rid of him.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing, man. And I thought this got exposed today. And again, I do everything in my power not to really stick up for Aaron Rodgers all the time, just based on his personality. But one thing today that game kind of illustrated to me was they kind of kept Davante Adams in check. And it was that lack of a number 2 wide receiver. I know, Valdez-Scantling can make plays here and there, but they don't have a number 2 that really stands out head and shoulders above the next person. And that's Green Bay's refusal to draft another wide receiver to really help Rodgers. Instead, they do the deal to move up to take Love, and I knew he didn't come out and say it verbatim, but the backstories were that Rodgers was doubly pissed for the fact that they picked a quarterback that soon, that early, traded up to get him, and that they didn't address that next wide receiver slot like he wanted to. And so, that being said, I thought that was exposed today. I thought that was, with Adams having sort of a quiet game, they double covered him. They rolled safeties over the top and neutralized them. They said, listen, Davante Adams is not going to beat us. It's going to have to be someone else. A.J. Dillon played well from the running back position, but they don't have that true number 2 receiver yet. I don't think he's on the roster. I think they got complementary receivers like Valdez-Scantling and others there. And I thought the slot they drafted Jordan Love, they could have got that number 2 receiver. We see what these receivers, the rookie class this year in the NFL.
Can you imagine them with Rodgers? Can you imagine one of them with Rodgers? Are you kidding me?
Even a LaVisca Chenault would excel there. They had opportunities, and they went with the Jordan Love deal. And I know that double burnt Rodgers, and I think that came to fruition today. I'm not saying that's the only reason they lost. I thought LaFleur kind of factored in there as well. But that game would have been, I think, different with a true number 2 receiver. And so I'm sure Rodgers is going to make, however he does it, the behind sort of the undertones or the grumbling, he's going to make it known that is one of the reasons why they weren't successful. And how's that, what is Green Bay's response, So this will be an interesting offseason of maybe some underhanded jabs here and there, going both ways, I know Rodgers right now is saying all the right things with LaFleur's decision, but
change.
That's exactly where I'm going. This is Rodgers' MO. He's kind of doesn't say a lot right after the game, and then stuff slowly comes out like, hey, we should have went for it, and then we never got the ball back. How are you going to win like that? And so that's coming, and so it's going to be an interesting offseason to see, where they stand when training camp rolls around. I don't think it's. I don't think it's beyond. I don't expect it, but I think there's an outside chance Green Bay could deal them, but they would literally have to get a lot of draft picks. And here's the thing: is the team going to do that for a guy that's not a spring chicken anymore? And so I don't know if a trade can get done for what Green Bay would want in return coming off an MVP season. And so I think these two are going to be aligned at the hip, but how much of the same page are they going to be on?
No, that's a valid question, and one that's going to be answered this offseason. But like you said, I have a feeling that's going to be one of those stories this year. Brady and Cam and everybody dominated some of the last couple of years, but I think this one might be the one. I think it might be Mr. Rogers this year, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I know we haven't even played the Super Bowl yet, but we're setting up for one heck of an offseason with quarterbacks potentially having new mailing addresses and new coaches in place and coordinators. And it's going to be definitely probably the most interesting and busiest offseason we've had in the NFL in a long time, probably that we're going to be able to remember. So, there's a saying in football, as you know, Drew, there is no off season. And so I think that statement will ring true this year more than any other year. We're going to see a lot of moves. We're going to hear a lot of rumors, even stuff that may not actually happen. We're going to hear rumors that it was in the pipeline. It just didn't get done. And we're going to be no shortage of storylines in the offseason.
No, that's you got that right. Green Day, go team. There you go, Ray's pilot. All right, there you go. Well, guys, we're going to wrap it up. It is right here at 11. I got to get back to work a little bit down here in Florida, but we will be off next week, obviously, since there is no football. And then we'll be back with our Super Bowl show. We'll give you we'll do a special Super Bowl Picks edition video. And I'm working right now on having a very special guest join us for the Super Bowl after show. And we'll give you all the details on the time and everything, since obviously the time of the show and everything will be altered because of the Super Bowl. But we'll give you guys all that information in the coming week or so you'll have it plenty of time ahead. But I really, really, and I'm challenging you guys here, I want to see some of your guys' faces after the Super Bowl talking about that Super Bowl. I want to see some of you drunk party animals going crazy, having some fun. Call in, do something crazy. I don't give a damn, but call in and have some fun with us. But John, if that's all you got, then I think we're going to wrap it up, my friend, until the Super Bowl. I can't believe we're already at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you know what? And it's crazy, man. And I know I'm not a big Roger Goodell guy. I pick on him, and
me too.
But you know what? Kudos to the NFL. Yes. I don't know if he gets the credit, but under these circumstances, they got a full schedule in. Once the Super Bowl's in the books, they had no cancellations. They didn't have a shortened season, and frankly, pretty unscathed. I mean, you had some COVID stuff here and there, but for compared to some other leagues with postponements and cancellations and moving games, and the NFL really, really did a good job, handling all that, getting through it. Every team played 16 games, the expanded playoffs, and no one was really shorthanded. We had that one week. What was it? Detroit played with the local high school team. But probably that was the worst moment. Other than that,
when they make movies about sports in this year and everything, that's going to make for a great 20 minutes of the movie, watching that dude get the phone call at the grocery store. So, hey,
But yeah, I mean, they did a pretty good job with the circumstances they were dealt, and got the full season in, and they're going to get the Super Bowl in, and then have an interesting off season. We'll see where the pandemic is by the time the season rolls around. I'd love to see fans back in the stands. From going to Panthers games, I go to Steelers games, man. That's football. The people in the stands rocking that stadium, making noise. I think people in Seattle would tell you they have a big time effect on the game, and it was weird
too. Kansas City too. That stadium will literally shake.
Yeah,
that stadium shakes.
that was the thing that was weird for me watching, was seeing those empty stands, and if we got to wear masks and sign a waiver, but just have that stadium full, I don't know if that's what Dr. Fauci wants me to say, but that's just kind of, I'm hearing now, COVID-19, we're going to be dealing with it in some form or fashion 10 years from now. Get vaccinated, wear your mask, and let's just, go back to as close to normalcy as we can, So.
I know. I completely agree with you. I can't deal with the piped in crowd noise. It just cracks me the fuck up. But
it's not the same.
No, it's not the same at all. But guys, thanks again. Thank you so much for tuning in to our conference championship episode of Roughing the Passer. Like I said, we will be back in 2 weeks. Make sure to check out John Newman put out his new episode of the Sports Card Nation podcast, as well as I put out a new episode of Let Me Get That Potograph. So make sure to go check both of those out, as well as Hobby Hotline, which did go live yesterday. But we will be back in 2 weeks. We'll have our pick show here in a little bit. We'll give you, like I said, we'll give you all the information on the date and time for the Roughing the Passer Super Bowl show, which will probably have some surprise guests, trying to do a giveaway or two, maybe some cool, fun stuff. So stay tuned and be paying attention to all those social media shows. But John, as always, my friend, it's a pleasure. And before I go, just to make you laugh, this was the best play of the day today that I saw. Oh my God, what's he doing? He's got to break him in half. Jesus. I just do it to make John laugh. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining the show. Hopefully your week went better than 24's did after DK bitch slapped him. But congratulations to Kansas City and Tampa Bay for going to the Super Bowl. And we will see you guys in just a couple of weeks. Peace.
Roughing the Passer calls.